Let's go. Welcome back to the Right Hook Pod. It's Mike Ryan, my guy Sniper. Oh boy, we're back for another edition of the pod. And if you were looking for us last week, sorry, I had to take care of some stuff, and I should have made a post or something. But when things are frantic, I lost track of stuff. So shout out to Sniper for being more than supportive. And if anything happens like that, I promise in the future we'll make sure to let you know. So I know a lot of people are looking for picks and looking for our insight. So I do apologize. That's on me. Nothing with Sniper. I had to take care of some stuff. So with that being said, Sniper, what's the word? What's the good word? I see you got a red cup. And if you're paying any close attention, it's nighttime. Where I'm at, so Sniper's putting a couple two. I can tell. What's up, brother? How we feeling, man?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Listen, man, happy everything's all right on your side.
Yeah,
You know
thanks,
what I
brother.
mean? At the end of the day, family comes first. But we will make sure to keep the viewers updated in the future.
Yeah,
But sometimes when things happen in the heat of the moment, I
shit
don't want you
happens
to
so
feel like,
quick, man.
you know what I mean? Don't want you to feel like pressured or anything like that. But glad that everybody's okay, everybody's good, everybody's copacetic at this point, and we get to bring back some content to the viewers. So I'm
Yes,
just happy
sir.
to be here.
Absolutely, man. And we got a pretty cool card on the way. UFC Jacksonville. It's going down. It's an early start. I like this though.
It is.
I like
It
when
is.
I like when I'm able to watch it during the day. It kind of sucks though because then like, what do you do at night? I don't know. You
Right.
get fucked up, whatever. But this is a pretty cool. I believe it starts at noon. So I think early prelims kick off at noon, and the main card starts at 3. Is that right? Just make sure I'm right.
So this the prelim card is stacked, man. So
Stack.
especially 11:30.
Oh, okay. 11. Okay, so the super
11:30
early
a.m.
prelims.
Eastern time is when the
Okay.
prelim card starts, and then the main card starts at 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay. So if you're on the East Coast, you get a little early treat, and if you're on the West Coast, you're waking up real early.
Real early.
This is,
Sorry.
what? Facts. You know what I thought is funny because we're both on the East Coast. Is it like a tradition to like wake up and eat breakfast for the NFL, like in California or something? Like, is it
Right.
like we eat pizza and wings, but
Right.
it's like breakfast for them? I always wondered that honestly.
It must be, man. It
Yeah.
must be because
Oh,
you
yes.
guys got a big time gap, and it sucks that you can't sleep in for stuff like that. But I
Right.
don't know, thinking,
Well, they
trying to,
get the nice weather, dude. They get
yeah.
palm trees and shit. We don't
Oh,
we don't get that. We get
yeah.
fucking
You don't get as
Mary.
much more nasty slush as we do, so I don't
Right.
feel bad. I'm
Facts.
good.
But yeah, so anyways, Jacksonville, that's gonna be where I believe last time they were in Jacksonville, Kamar Usman headlined. So Jacksonville's getting yet another treat with Josh Emmett and Ilya Taporia. And oh man, I have so much to say, but we'll wait. We'll get it. We'll get it going. So
Mhm.
let's kick it off. Brandon Allen, the number 13th rank, going up against Bruno Silva. Sniper, talk to me. How are we feeling? What do we like for this fight and why?
Listen, man, this is it was a tricky fight to call up, right?
Yep.
Because both of these fighters are very I don't want to say spontaneous or sporadic,
Right.
but anything could happen with these fighters, right? The problem is though, right? So let me break it down for you. So we got Brandon Allen versus Bruno Silva. So Bruno Silva is a guy with immense knockout ability. The man has 20 knockouts in his
20.
UFC career. Out
Yep.
of 23 wins, he has 20 knockouts.
Jeez.
So that's just enough right there. If you don't know who he is, me telling you that is scary
You
enough.
know.
Right? Very powerful striker. His last fight might have been a little early stoppage, might have not been. It's very controversial, but at the end of the day, regardless, if that wasn't his 20th knockout, he still has 19 knockouts,
Right.
right?
Right.
Who that weren't early stoppages.
Right.
He's a durable fighter. Uh, his last fight, however, he unfortunately got dropped into the submission. So he got hit with a left hook and unfortunately got subbed out. He's 4-2 in the UFC, and his last fight was in April,
Okay.
and he's fighting against Brendan Allen, who is a dog, man. That
And he's
man's on the
ranked,
up.
and that's not to take nothing light, you know.
Yeah, he's a dog, man. He's on a 4-fight winning streak. His last 2 fights, his last fight was in February, so Silva has the more recent fight. However, the momentum that Brendan Allen has right now is definitely in his favor. He won his last 2 by submission, so man is a submission artist. He has 5 knockouts in his career and 12 submissions. So
Okay.
he's definitely a seasoned grappler.
Okay.
However, he isn't scared to trade with anybody on the feet. So that in itself is kind of scary to go up against because you know the guy is gonna try to take it to the ground or what
Right.
have you, but he just stays on the feet with you. Is a little unexpected, and that's what he does. He brings the pain. He brings the unexpected to his fight. He has great top control. However, he does leave his chin open a little bit. He is kind of susceptible to strikes on the chin, but he's durable and he can take it.
Okay.
Right. I
Yep.
believe. No, I don't think he's ever been knocked out. He has been. No, he's been knocked out twice. Actually, yes, he's been knocked out twice, but that was very early in his career, and he also has been submitted once. But the thing about that is, Brendan Allen has 12 submissions, and 6 of Silva's losses were by submission.
So we're looking to maybe it's going to go to the ground quick.
Yeah, I think so. What I think is going to happen is Brendan is going to try to prove himself.
Yep.
I think he just became a ranked fighter, and he's fighting an unranked fighter, and he's going to try and
You got to maintain that ranking, you know.
yeah. So he's going to try and prove why he deserved that number next to his name.
Yep.
So he's going to try and maybe show the world that he does have stand up ability as well. But once he gets hit with that silver power, I think he's like, oh, you know what? I don't need to do this anymore. Let me
Yeah.
take it to the ground. Silva's
Right.
not that well versed against the submission. Obviously, he has 6 submission losses. So
Right.
yeah. So all in
So
all, I say
my
that to
thing is,
say
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I say that to say I think Brendan Allen comes out with the W
Okay.
in this fight, and I'm
So
even go ahead.
you go.
So I was gonna say I'm even have half a mind to sprinkle that he ends up knocking Silva out. Again, that's a
Maybe a
sprinkle.
little double chance.
Double chance. I feel like the odds aren't worth a
Yeah.
sprinkle
I
for
haven't checked
that
them yet. I
matter.
haven't checked the lines yet.
Yeah. So as far as that goes, I think if I wanted to take something straight and I wanted to sprinkle a little cash, low half unit, low unit for big profit, I think I'm gonna go Allen by knockout. But
Okay.
again, the lock is his money line.
Okay. So yeah, it's interesting you say that, right? Because he got tapped 6 times, and obviously Allen is a submission guy. And but I want to tell the listeners this, right? Because you get excited, you want to take the result by submission, and you're so certain on that, and then you have a fighter who comes out and they want to prove they can stand up. They want to prove they're not just about the submission, and that's where it gets tricky. Now,
Yeah,
I'm telling you from a point of view, I've done this before where just like what we did with Mike Malott,
yeah, yeah,
we thought it was going to be a knockout, and it should have been.
yeah.
However, he had something else to prove and ends up submitting the guy. So, like you said, and I like where your head is, maybe that knockout sprinkle is something to take into
Right,
consideration.
100%.
Okay.
It's definitely worth just real quick. Let me look up those odds. It's a good
Yep.
thing I was already signed into the book. It's actually plus money, plus 105,
Double chance.
double chance.
Damn. Now it's just a question of will Silva it's is it going to go to the distance? I guess that's what you
Right.
have to
So
and
I
Silva will
don't
sustain. That's the thing.
I don't believe this goes the distance at all, man.
So
Um,
that double chance might be something to take into consideration.
yes, yes, and here you're hearing this live, ladies and gentlemen. I might have to switch my lock of the night.
Oh,
I
oh,
might have to switch my lock of the night.
oh.
Did not know those odds were
And we just talked it through. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly. So
All right, so don't give him it yet, but
I won't give it yet, but just know that things might change when it's
okay.
time to
So
give it.
we're about like 11 minutes in, and Sniper is already reconsidering his lock of the
Crazy,
night. So be
crazy.
on the lookout for that. So the next fight on the card, man, it's David Onama versus Gabriel Santos. I think a lot of people are excited for this one. Let's break it down. How do you feel about it? And who do we think takes it?
So here's the thing, man. So Gabriel Santos, he only has one fight in the UFC. Um, However, it's his only loss, right? Unfortunately, he lost his debut in the UFC, but that is his only loss in
Do we
his.
know who he lost to?
Um, I can't remember off the top of
Okay,
my
no
head.
worries. I'll look it up. But go ahead.
Right. So that's it's his only loss in the UFC, and I believe it was by split decision.
Okay.
Um. So Gabriel Santos, dude's a very aggressive fighter, man. He's like a little I don't know how to call it without sounding disrespectful. He's like a little rat.
He's
He's
just
he's scurrying back
how
and
about
forth.
he's a little pit bull guy, you know?
Yeah, he's just a little chihuahua, just bouncing back and forth all over the octagon. He knows how to use his angles. He switches angles all the time, and he's very in your face. He's very aggressive pressure fighter.
Yeah.
The man could take damage. He seems to be very well versed in both the feet and the ground. And he's always pressuring something, right? He's always in your face. He's always throwing some heat at you. If you try to take him down, he's definitely going to throw submissions off his back. He's going to throw strikes off his back. He's just a guy who you can't really settle on. You have to constantly worry about what's his next move at all
Right.
times. He's very technical. He will keep the pressure at all times, and he's never been finished in his career.
Yeah.
He
So
has
to pull that up. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, brother. My fault.
no. I was just gonna say he has 3 knockouts and 4 submissions. So not 100% finishing rate, but at a 70% clip, he finishes his fight.
So it's an interesting fact. Sorry to cut you off. Interesting fact. He actually fought last time. Last time he fought was UFC 286, and if I'm correct, that was in pretty sure that was in Jacksonville. Unless that, oh nope, I lied. So that was O2 Arena. So the last time he fought was UFC 286, and it went to a split decision, and he lost to Leon Murphy.
Murphy, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I was actually just rewatching that fight today, and
yep.
by God, was it a banger? It was back and
Was
forth,
it?
left and right. Yeah, man, that split decision was definitely warranted because at the end, at the final bell, I had no idea who was gonna win.
Okay.
Um,
So how do we feel? How do we feel the fight's going to go? Is it going to go the distance? Who takes it? How does it end?
so before I do that, let me break down David Onama.
Oh, right.
Who
Absolutely.
he
Look at
he
me
uh,
try.
he fought. Actually, his last fight was against Nate Landwehr, Nate the Train,
Nate the
and
Train.
he almost knocked him clean out. Actually, he did knock him out. I believe we had this discussion on the last episode.
Yep.
He knocked him out, and I believe the second hit woke Nate up, which obviously
Spark.
cost
Right.
him the fight because Nate ended up beating him by decision. But just going to decision with a guy like Nate Landwehr just shows how tough a fighter you are, right?
Right.
Man has chin for days. He also has power. He's 2-2 in the UFC with 100% finishing rate. So all his wins, he finishes.
Okay.
He only has 2 losses in the UFC. He's a very durable fighter. He's a pretty decent grappler as well. He likes to throw subs, and he has a very lengthy frame, so that might pose a problem against the shorter Gabriel Santos.
Right.
And he's another one that's not scared to trade. So, and he has a longer reach advantage. He has a 4-inch reach advantage. So I honestly think that poses a problem for Gabriel. How he might be able to dart around the octagon. Onama's no slouch either, and just having that range, having that distance management ability
Right.
I think is going to be tough for Gabriel to get around. So, without further ado, for this fight, I don't think this goes the distance. That's what
Okay.
I'm most comfortable with for this fight. And if I had to sprinkle something, I'm going double chance on Nama.
So I, I remember you were trying to figure out a word for Gabriel Santos, right? And I'm excuse me, I'm looking at his nickname, and I'm pretty sure it's mosquito.
That
I
makes
mean,
sense.
I might listen. I don't speak Spanish, but if I'm looking at his nickname. It looks like it says mosquito.
Let's see. Let's see. Oh, that's
Hold on,
funny as hell,
I'll be right
man.
back. Hold on.
That's funny as hell, man. Let's look this up.
Because it's spelled MOSQU ITINHO. I probably spelled that wrong. Yeah. And if I'm wrong, I just want the fans to roast me because I deserve
So here's the
it.
thing. So dude's Brazilian. Mosquitinho? Is that what it says?
You know what? Let me translate that.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
copy paste that in the
let
Google
me translate
Translator.
real quick.
I wouldn't be surprised if that
I hope I'm right, Sniper, because I can't afford another.
installation
What's that?
just chomping at the bit. The viewers cooking you.
Yeah, bro. These big words just get to me, man. I'm telling you. All
That's
right.
def- that's definitely a Portuguese word, though.
All right. Hold on. Let's see. All right. Here we go. So, what does this mean? The word is what I thought mosquito. A small mosquito. Yes.
Small mosquito. There you go.
Small mosquito. Let's go.
It's fitting, man. It's fitting. Like
When
I
you said
said,
it, it makes a lot of sense.
the dude just.
I'm taking him because he's a small mosquito, and I hate mosquitoes. Actually, you know what Onama's gonna do?
Yep, one of them ones.
What's
Zap
up?
him. See ya.
What's up? What's up? All right, let's move on to the next one. Austin Lane and Justin Taffa. It's gonna be a fucking banger. I love this. I think this is an excellent fight. I love where it's positioned on the card. Let's
100%.
wake a couple people up. Let's get it. Sniper, what's up? How we feeling?
So let's start with Austin Lane because I think he's not as known of a fighter as our homeboy Justin Taffa.
Right. We got to give him some credit.
Yeah. So Austin Lane, he's coming off of Contender Series win, right? So
Okay.
he just got his contract. This will be his debut in the UFC.
Yep.
He's on a 6-fight winning streak, however, and he has a 100% finishing rate. Dude has 11 knockouts with 1 submission. He's a much leaner fighter, much faster fighter, a lot more technical due to his frame, right? However, his all 3 of his losses are by knockout, right?
Okay.
And he's going against one of the biggest knockout artists in the heavyweight division in the UFC, in Justin
Yeah.
Taffa. The
Right.
dude has dynamite C4 in his right hand, and it's very very scary to go up against,
Right.
especially knowing that all 3 of his losses are by knockout. Justin Taffa is 3-3 in the UFC, also with a 100% finishing rate. All of his wins are before round 3, so he's never had
Okay.
a 3rd round knockout. It's either round 1 knockout or round 2 knockout. He's on a
Right.
2-fight winning streak, and both of those fights were by walk-off knockout. So the ref didn't even have to pull him off. It was straight. I think it was against Huckinson, Hucker
Yeah. So
something.
it was Harry Hunsucker.
Hunter.
And
Yep.
I was at UFC Fight Night 199. Then in his last win, because it was a little Aussie connection here against Parker Porter.
Yeah, and he cleaned him with a right hook. See you never,
Right.
dude, and just walked
See,
off.
I love it. I love the Aussie. I love the Aussie fighters, man.
Yeah, and he definitely gives off Mark Hunt energy.
Yep.
If you don't know who Mark Hunt is, if you don't know who Mark Hunt
He's
is,
right here. We'll put him up right there on the screen.
Google him. Yeah. So I like to think as Tafa as sort of like a reincarnation of Mark Hunt because Mark Hunt was king walk-off knockout artist. And yeah, Justin Tafa is definitely built like that. And I believe this fight ends in a knockout. I don't think if Austin Lane has the goal to try and take Tafa down, I don't think he's going to be able to wrap his body around him in a way to be able to successfully submit him. It might just have to be a ground and pound if he has it in him to do that to Justin. But definitely think this fight ends by knockout. And if I had to sprinkle a little something, Tafa round 2 KO.
Sniper, I don't like that they're giving this guy, Austin Lane, his UFC debut against Justin Tafa. I think you get thrown into the wolves and we'll see what you're made of. Because he went from fighting on the Contender Series to now you're third in line. Like it's a big fight, dude. It's not like
Justin Tafa's no scrub. He's
what I'm
no
saying.
scrub.
Like, that's why I'm like, oh shit! Like they're really putting this guy into the wolves. So either the matchmakers see something in this guy, or maybe they want Justin Taff. I don't know. I that's a bold move for the Lane against.
100%, 100%. I honestly believe it was more of a no one else
Wants to fight Tafa right now.
No one else wants to fight Lane.
Is that right? Well, it's 12-3 for a reason, but
12-3 with 11 knockouts and 1 submission,
right.
So 100% finishing rate. And I'm pretty sure the fighters research these people that they try to set them up with. And as far as where Tafa stands in the division, I think he was the only one in his realm of standings in that division,
right?
Where they were like, I'm not fighting that guy. That guy's crazy.
Right.
And Tafa was like, send him in. I'll be his gatekeeper. You know what I mean? So
that's the Aussie boys, man. I'm telling you, they're
always down. Always down.
Yep. All right. Well, it's going to be an exciting one. I'm excited for this card, man. I think there's a lot of bangers on it. It's UFC Fight Night. There's no official number on it, but if we are counting in order, it should be 133. But it is UFC Fight Night. It's Josh Emmett. It's Ilia Topuria. And let's get into the co-main. This one, I'm excited, but I'm confused at the same time. So I see that they're both ranked number 11. So I didn't make an error there because it's on the official UFC website, but I'm a little confused. So I'm hoping you can help.
I wish.
By the way, these fighters it's Macy Barber, and she's going up against
Amanda Ribas.
Amanda Ribas. So go ahead and what's going on in the world of these two fighters?
So I honestly didn't know that they were both ranked 11.
Yep.
And I couldn't tell you why. Honestly, because UFC, as far as their ranking goes, they're pretty on top of that.
Yeah.
They're pretty on top of that. So, not sure what's up with that. However, let's get into breaking each of these fighters, right? So, Amanda,
this is the whole main event, so this is going to be a bang.
Yeah, 100%. These both of these women are game ass fighters. Both of these fighters don't know when to quit. Both of these fighters will just bring pressure and just expel their gas tank for the entirety of the fight. Amanda Ribas, who is a favorite at -196, she is.
Respect for me, huh?
She is, which I agree with you. I do agree with you with that, but I'll get into it, right?
Yeah,
so, Ribas is 11-3, 6-2 in the UFC with 2 knockouts and 4 submissions. 5 out of 8 fights in the UFC went to decision. Okay. So, so as far as the bright lights, big city, not a lot of finishes in that. But she is an extremely tough fighter. She's also durable. She can take damage. She went up against Viviane Araujo her last fight, who is a very
able to pronounce that.
very, very, very powerful fighter. and she was getting tagged up the first round, 100% getting tagged up, and she just kept coming. It didn't stop her, didn't phase her, didn't deter her from trying to, ultimately getting the victory. So Hibas is going up against another seasoned grappler, which is Macy Barber. She is 8-2 in the UFC. Did not know she has more fights than Hibas in the UFC, but you know it is what it is. She's on a 4-fight winning streak. She has 5 knockouts with 2 submissions, and she's also never been finished. She will attack you from anywhere. She'll attack you on the cage, in the clinch, on the ground. Doesn't matter where it is. She's bringing the pressure.
It doesn't seem like she runs out of gas.
No,
That's
she
what
doesn't. No, she
Right.
doesn't. She also has a huge gas tank, and she is willing to expend that and more in
Right.
order to finish her fighters. Now, unfortunately, she's been on a 4-fight winning streak, but I believe her last finish was a while ago, a very long while ago, and she fights as if she wants another finish. Unfortunately, she's been fighting these demons who just don't go down. You know what I mean? So
Right.
a lot of her fights since then have went to decision, but she's definitely coming out with the energy to finish her opponent.
I
And
agree. I agree.
you can see that in her striking, you can see that in her grappling, you can see that in her urgency. That she doesn't really have this lull to her. Like sometimes fighters, like they'll come in swinging if they're excited, and then maybe second round they're like, all right, let me catch my breath or whatever. Macy's not like that. Macy's bringing the pain all 5 minutes of every single round that she's in,
Right.
and she's also a very durable fighter. She's a strong fighter. She gets you to the ground. You might stay there for a bit, and yeah. So unfortunately, with all that being said, I know I might sound like I am contradicting myself, but I do believe that this fight goes the distance
Okay.
because
Makes sense though. It makes sense though.
yeah,
As
because
crazy as it sounds, because they're both so technically like, they're both so technical.
yeah, and neither of these fighters really get finished like that. So I think just these two very tough fighters, how Macy might come in with the energy to try and finish her opponent. I don't think she's finishing Hiwas at all. So say that to say that this does go the distance, but how Macy is an underdog, I am sprinkling on her
Yeah, she's
one hundred
definitely.
percent
Yeah, I
because
think we can both agree on her.
yeah, I think this is a instance where Vegas is kind of like, you know, I don't know, maybe trying to scare the betters into just taking the favorite, and then they'll take their losses when they lose,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah, I'm
Vegas,
not. I'm not even touching Reba's. I'm going right for Barber.
yeah. At plus 152, that's a money line that I have no problem throwing like 10, 15 bucks
Oh,
on.
for sure,
I mean,
for sure. All right, so that's gonna be a good one. I'm excited for it. And before we get to the main event, what we'll do, I'm curious, and if you're cool with it, I think for how you predict the fights to end, I think we should do a parlay. So like if it's gonna go the distance, or it could be by submission or knockout. I think we should
mm,
look up a parlay. Obviously bet responsibly, but maybe a little sprinkle lay. What do you think?
right, right. Okay. So
So,
basically,
there's no record. There's no like it doesn't go count against you or nothing.
right.
But,
Okay.
but
So like,
yeah, go
so
ahead.
basically, just like throw in all the sprinkles into a little parlay.
Yeah, just a lotto. If you're familiar with gambling, it's what it's called is a lotto,
Yeah.
right? It could happen. It could obviously not happen. So I think, but we should do that. I think I'm gonna do it. I always tell everything you send. So
Mhm.
definitely excited to do that. Let's get into the main event. Who I think, um, let's say, hypothetical. This is where Patty the Batty should be fighting, and Ila Taporia should be where Patty the Batty is. Let's be honest. I'm calling it for what it is. If Patty the Batty stepped in the octagon with Ila Taporia, it's not going good for Patty. This guy is not hand sanitizer boy. This is not who Patty the Batty proclaims him to be. And at one point we got to throw some respect on your boy Topuria, man. It's Josh.
Yeah.
It's Ela Topuria, the number 5 versus the number 9. And I expect everything and more out of this one.
Yeah. I expect
I said some bullshit, and I know you're not gonna co-sign it, but
I'll co-sign, bro. I'll co-sign, bro. 100%.
Right, dude, because it just feels like it just feels like the UFC has this agenda with these characters, bro. And it's like you get like a Paddy the Batty, or you get Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley shouldn't have fucking won his last fight, dude. Like, whatever. I'm gonna go down a whole rabbit hole, but it's these characters that the UFC builds up. Meanwhile, you have Topuria, who's a dog,
right.
and he should be way higher than he is. However,
Right.
let you do what you do, and that's break down.
Unfortunately, they do fast track fighters a lot.
Big time. Look at Rosas Juniors, bro. Who you
Yeah,
kidding?
they do fast track fighters a lot, and with a certain amount of understanding, right? Because there is a lot of hype around these fighters, and all they're trying to do is generate revenue, right? So of course they're gonna fast track all these hype ass fighters. But more times than not, when a fighter like that gets fast tracked, they end up crashing and burning.
You get exposed, man.
Yeah, like look at Molly McCann. She was another one.
Oh, that's tough. That's
yeah,
tough
and she got exposed. She definitely got exposed.
Look at Rosas Juniors, bro. He was supposed to be a stud. A
Lost
stud. He was the opening on the main event, bro. Like, come on.
He lost me money. I'll never bet on him again.
Oh, you and me both, brother.
Lost me money. Lost me a lot of money. But we ain't getting into that. We'll get into who we came here to talk about, Josh Emmett and Ilia Topuria. Now, Josh Emmett, dude, is 9-3 in the UFC with 6 knockouts and 2 submissions. He only has 3 finishes in the UFC, however. So 3 out of 9 of his wins have been finishes. So that just goes to show the level of fighters that he's going up against with. Don't get me wrong. Josh Emmett, he's short, stocky, but strong, very centered guy. He throws bombs, and when they land, you do fall.
Oh yeah.
He has a lot of power in his hands. He's very quick, very agile for his size, because he is a shorter, wider set, stocky fighter. But that's all muscle. You can see in the way he moves. That's all muscle right there. Unfortunately, he's been finished twice in his career, and he's going up against the undefeated Ilia Topuria.
Minus 390 as of Wednesday the 21st, and I feel like it's only going to get worse from there.
Yeah, man. Topuria is that guy. He's a dog, and
simple.
All he does is prove it in the octagon. The dude has 1 win by decision. The rest by finishes. He has 4 knockouts, 8 submissions. He beat. I don't know if you guys know who Bryce Mitchell is. Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell, who was another fighter he had a lot of star power to him, and he was supposed to climb the rankings really fast. And here comes Ilia Topuria, beat the bricks off this kid.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Want to know what makes it worse? Is the UFC granted him camouflage trunks.
Yep.
And he lost.
And he got his ass beat. Now don't get me wrong. I don't want this to come off as I'm hating on Bryce, because Bryce was my guy. Bryce still is my guy. And I kind of
training in his backyard to start.
Yeah. I'm kind of feeling to watch him fight again, and I can't wait till they announce his next opponent. But he went up against a monster in Ilia Topuria, and if you don't believe that this guy is really like that, you're crazy. And
you better watch some fights. You better watch some fights.
To co-sign what you were saying, I don't think Patty wants any smoke with Ilia. Not at all. I think Ilia will eat him for breakfast. Pause.
Absolutely.
Cook him with some blood sausage and some black.
They could have made Patty. They could have put Patty in this main event.
Yeah.
But what's his excuse? He didn't want to fight in New York. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to fight in New York. Fight in Florida.
Right.
There's
no fight anywhere else, but make the fight.
Why hasn't he fought yet? And I don't.
No, man.
is ducking, homeboy. I'm telling you, he
Yeah,
is.
100%, 100%. And it's not like if Topuria beats Emmett, it's not like, oh, Patty's next in line. That's not at all. Now
Right.
we're talking title contention,
Yeah.
and
Oh
Patty's
yeah.
not in the title contention category or even in talks of it right now. So
And that's what makes me like confused is like, okay, Patty, if you're really about it, you should have been took this fight.
yeah,
When they were sounding off in the hotel and chirping each other at the press conference, that next
yep.
fight should have been Pimblett versus Topuria.
Type the contract out. I'll sign it right here, right now. Let's make it happen.
But hey, bro,
But
you know what? That's just him protecting his bag. You can't be mad, but you're also like you're a
can't be a
bitch.
hate on that. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to just play the part. You know what I mean? Especially
Right.
since he's the cash cow of the UFC, you can't look scared. So you have to play. You have to play the role, play the part. But
Fact.
definitely scared. Definitely scared. And I don't blame him. Ilya is a dog. The
Yep.
dude, he does not quit. He did almost get crunched against a power hitter in Jai Herbert. Jai Herbert, Black Country Banger, which is a
Oh, yeah.
fire nickname, by the way.
And I
But
wouldn't want to fight somebody with that nickname. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
that's a fire nickname right there. But
For
yeah,
sure.
so Herbert almost cleaned him in the very first round twice, I believe, twice or three times. Like he knocked him down with a head kick. He made him stumble with another one, and he was definitely on him. But I don't know how he recovered from such a head kick. I don't know how he got over the range in Jai
I don't know
Herbert.
how to do it, dude. I could never withstand, or I could never take a leg kick to the stomach, to my
Mhm.
face, to my head, a punch.
And
I couldn't do it, bro.
no,
I just
maybe
couldn't
a
do it.
punch, maybe a punch, but a shin to the temple, night night.
That
Snooze fest, kid.
cat
Um,
kick, bro, kill me.
yeah,
Might as well kill me.
might as well shoot me in the brain kick because I'm done.
Facts.
But yeah, so I say all that to say I know I was puffing about the guy a lot, but there's good reason he's like that, man. He's like that. You don't believe me? After this episode, go watch some fights for yourself, and you'll see for yourself what I'm talking about. This guy's
I
a session.
I think that this might be a card where we might be picking the same fighters this week. I think because I
Yeah.
think we have a lot of fighters in common. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I'm curious. Let's go through it. So we got. So actually, hold on. Let's take a quick break. Let's get into the lock of the night, and then we'll puff a little bit about who we're taking. Hang tight. It's the Right Hook Pod. Wow.
So
All
real
right.
quick, I didn't pick I didn't say my picks for Emmett Topuria. So
Okay.
obviously, from what I was saying, Topuria definitely is who I'm taking, and to sprinkle, I think it ends by submission. Um, Emmett's a tough guy. How Topuria has power, I don't think Emmett gets knocked out. He has been knocked out once in his career. He fought against Jeremy Stevens, who I believe Jeremy Stevens was a fucking shooter, bro. He
Better pack your
definitely,
lunchbox, bud.
yeah,
Remember him saying it to Connor.
yeah. He definitely was shooting some roids, in my opinion. It was never confirmed. It was never.
You look
Yeah,
jacked.
I don't think he ever got popped by USADA, but I don't care. That dude was a psycho crackhead, fucking weirdo who definitely has unnatural strength, and he knocked homeboy out. I don't think that's happening this fight. I think he definitely drops him, maybe, but I think it goes to the ground, and if it goes to the ground, he wraps his arm around his neck, tap tap tap, night night. So those are my picks for that fight.
So Topuria by submission for the main event.
So Topuria money line, and it ends by submission. Doesn't
Okay.
matter.
All right, say less. So that is Sniper's official pick for that fight. And we'll get into some more in what's trending in the lock of the night. Coming up next. Hold on. Okay, welcome back. It's the Right Hook Pod. Your boy Sniper is getting ready. He's locked in. Big stretches. We're returning the lock of the night. We had to take a couple weeks off, but they say a little rest and a clear mind. So with that being said, well, first I guess we should recap. We're 2-1 for the lock of the night, and so we're bouncing off of an L, but the L was just kind of like It shouldn't have been. Um,
Yeah. If you guys know,
yeah, if you pay attention to the show, your boy has been on fire. So I don't really count that. It's an L, but I don't really count it as an L.
and
So
it sucks because he had it and then decided to go for the other thing and whatever,
yeah,
man. It
it's
is
tough.
what it is.
It's Josh Emmett, it's Ilya Topuria, your lock of the night, sir. UFC Fight Night Jacksonville.
So as we were talking about this, right? Like
Yep.
I believe in the first 10, 15 minutes of the show,
It was like the first 11.
I had a lock of the night and I just decided to completely scratch it, man. That's gone off the water. When I looked up these odds, I said this is plus money. How it isn't, plus 140, it isn't plus 330, it isn't plus 550. You know what I mean? Plus money is always plus money.
It's good
So
money.
it's always good money. It's always profit. You either double or more your money. So with that being said, my lock of the night for UFC Fight Night, Josh Emmett versus Ilya Topuria, I'm gonna go with Brendan Allen double chance by knockout or sub at plus 105.
Boom. I think that's great value. I think when you go back and watch our breakdown of it, Sniper completely convinced me that that's just the most logical point. So, yeah, I like that pick.
100%.
Okay, welcome back to the Right Hook Pod. It's Mike Ryan, my guy Sniper, and what is trending. A lot to talk about. And so first, I wasn't able to watch Tough. Sniper was. So let's talk about it, man. Fill me in.
So
Pause.
ultimate.
I say pause because I said
I
pause.
I just picked that up. Okay, so the Ultimate Fighter, right? Yeah. So we finally got to see Trevor Wells versus.
Ah,
Finally got to see.
was it a good fight, dude? Was it a good
So
fight?
I'll get to
Okay,
that.
okay,
So
okay,
Trevor
okay.
Wells versus Timur Valiev, right? Timur
Oh,
Valiev
go
is
forward to this one.
was the on Michael Chandler's team, the veteran team. Deep record, man, 18-3 professionally.
Yep,
Going up against the prospect Trevor Wells, who is at 8-3.
yep.
So first round, it was very, very close, man. Very, very competitive fight. They stood up a bit. They were
For
trading
those who
shots.
don't know, they fight 2 rounds. There's only 2 rounds. If it's a tie, then they'll go to a third. Just clearing that
They'll
out.
go to a sudden death, and whoever wins that round wins the fight.
Correct.
And just a quick backtrack. They were supposed to fight. Trevor Wells wasn't medically cleared to fight their first time, so um, the judges came together, the coaches came together, and they decided on the catch weight for this fight at 142. So they didn't have to cut all that weight again.
That's tough.
They both made weight at 141 and a half, and they fought.
Okay.
And the first round was very, very competitive. It was, in my opinion, it was very, very tough to call who won that round.
Okay.
Takedown stuff. There was a takedown, but Trevor Wells was very, very good in transitioning, sweeping, getting back up off the feet. So those takedowns didn't really hold much value in the first round.
Okay.
So very, very close round. However, the second round, it started off just as close. It did start off just as close. But then Timur got a good takedown and was just raining ground and pound shots on him. He ate a lot of heavy elbows. It took him a while to get back on his feet, and when they did get back on the feet, there wasn't enough time for Trevor to capitalize. And
So you're telling me 3-0 for Chandler, bro? 4-0?
or
Was it
no,
4?
it's
Oh,
four.
right, because they fought. Yeah.
They had a replacement for this fight, and then they had to keep the show going. So yes, it is 4-0 Team Chandler.
How was Conor McGregor's? How was his?
His reaction, it looked pretty. It looked pretty civil.
Yeah.
Honestly, he just walked in the cage and said, "Oh, come on." that was supposed to be a third round. You guys know it's supposed to be a third round, but he congratulated Timur and he was supporting Trevor throughout the entirety of the thing, and nothing blew over.
Well, let me ask you, what you see this promo where it's Connor pushing Michael Chandler?
Yeah,
Have we seen that yet? Or
we have not seen that yet. I honestly thought that this was what was going to happen,
yeah,
because it was very controversial.
yeah, no, of course, it would make sense for Connor
I
to
thought
do
it should have went to a third round.
yeah,
Connor thought it would have went to a third round. So I thought when he was walking into the octagon, I thought sparks were gonna fly, and then Chandler was gonna follow him. Like, yo, what are you doing? Like, yeah, whatever. You
yeah.
got lost 4-0, stupid. You don't show up in the third round.
Chandler's humble though. They should have picked somebody who was going to chirp Connor. That's the
Yeah,
thing. So he
yeah.
wasn't going to say much.
So I will say this about Trevor Wells though. Out of all the fighters on Conor McGregor's team so far, Trevor looked the most comfortable. He looked the most ready to fight.
I was
And
going to ask, did he look ready? Did he look like he was ready to fight?
the most ready to fight. He
Okay.
looked, yeah, man, he looked ready to go. And in my opinion, I think he did the best out of the other four
Right.
McGregor prospects to have gone. But
What's funny though? It's like McGregor's prospects, they've never really had a chance. Like
yeah,
it's these quick knockouts, bro. Like
yeah,
it's insane.
yeah, yeah. And then the last fight, it was a clear 2-0 victory. This one, at least the first round was right there, right there, neck and neck. So, it is what it is. 0-0, 0-4.
0-4 for Mr. McGregor. And you know what? At least all the filming is done, right? So
Right.
everything is all set with that. So, shit. All right, maybe next week. We keep saying this. Maybe next week. Maybe next week.
We hope, man. We hope. We don't want to see a clean sweep. We want to see some sort
We
of
got to see some intensity. All right.
yeah.
Speaking of intensity, I thought it was interesting. First of all, John Jones and Francis Ngannou, they linked up at PFL Atlanta. So I have many questions. I want to ask you a couple questions. First of all, John Jones was wearing a PFL shirt. Do you think, and obviously we know he's not going to fight in the PFL, that's a given. But is that something where can Dana throw a fine at him like a Goodell with like a Tyreek Hill situation? How does that work? He's literally wearing the competition, if you will. I mean, there's no competition.
So I'm not too sure of that. I don't know how Dana feels about the promotion
And
of
then you had
other.
Connor at the bare knuckle fucking thing with the
Yeah,
belt.
so
So
I don't think it's a problem of promotion of other organizations, more so as the fighting in other organizations,
true,
right?
okay. And they're both on
Because
ESPN now that I think about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, so because at the end of the day, promotion is one thing, but you fighting in another organization weakens his power as leader of the organization you're supposed to belong to.
Right.
So that might piss him off more than you wearing a organization of Bellator or One or
Okay.
PFL.
All right, because I'm thinking like, yo, this man John Jones is rocking PFL. What's Dana thinking? So I have a couple questions, and I know you're excited to break it down too. But did you look at John size up Ngannou? He sized
yeah,
him up.
he sized him up
Okay,
bad,
so I'm just saying because I watched him and he was looking at him like, okay,
and
like
he even like grabbed his arms like this, like, "Oh, you're a big boy."
yeah. So yeah, what do you think, man? What do you think? Seeing them finally next to each other, I
and
think that's a lot of clarity for people.
yeah. So Francis is a big fuck, dude.
He is, but John Jones is just as big, bro.
Yeah, but it did confirm a size disparity that I had, or like a size curiosity pause that I had between the two fighters. John Jones did get really big in those 3 years that he was gone, but Ngannou's always been that big. And to see that he's still slightly bigger than John Jones is
Bro, I don't want to believe it. I don't even still want to believe that,
it's
bro.
scary, man. It's chilling. It's bone chilling to see. And a lot of people might say that Jones was trying to cover up a little bit of intimidation with the things that he was saying. You know what I mean? But we all know John Jones is a troll,
Right.
right? he likes to troll people who he likes to talk his shit. But one thing one thing that I've noticed that's a bit out of John Jones's character was how he needed to let Francis know where he stood as far as superstardom, as far as level of fighter. He said, "I'm the king, and I will forever be the king."
Does a
And
king have to say that?
that's what I'm saying. And even with his most famous, most famous rivalry with Daniel Cormier, I don't recall him, making it a point to say that I'm the king of the light heavyweight division. I'm the best. I'm like, obviously he's saying he's champion because he was champion, but I don't think or recall him ever being like, I'm the king of this and that and the third, trying to, make it very clear to the other fighter because at the end of the day, everybody's already thinking, is he the fucking GOAT? So him saying that to Ngannou and then Ngannou just replying like, in your division, in the light heavyweight division, you're the king. At heavyweight, I'm the king. And
Egos, bro. Egos flying, bro.
yeah, so it
I
was
love
very interesting to see that that little engagement between the two fighters.
We
And
needed it. I think we so needed it, bro. I
yeah,
think as a UFC fan, a fight fan, like you just had to
yeah,
see
there's
that
a lot of clarity, a lot of closure.
unanswered answers.
I don't even care. Like, I would love to see that fight, but seeing that, I don't even really care.
I'm put you on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Does Francis Ngannou have a chance against John Jones? And before you answer that, let me explain one thing. Cyril Gane fought Francis Ngannou, and they went the distance.
I already see what
John
you're
Jones fought Cyril Gane, and it
doing.
didn't go past round one.
Yeah.
All I'll say.
So you also got to remember the injury that Francis Ngannou was fighting with.
You're right. He was fighting on some torn ACL or something like
Torn
that.
ACL and MCL.
Okay.
On his, I think, left or right leg, whatever leg he had the brace on. But yes, he was fighting with the torn ligament, and he still sort of dominated
He had
the great takedown defense.
Yeah.
Great sprawls, great transitions, great sweeping, and I think a fully healthy Ngannou has a chance. I don't think it's a big chance,
Right.
but I think it's I
think
think
the books would have that at. Do you think
yeah.
it'd be even like minus 115 for both, or does John Jones could come in as the heavy favorite?
No, I don't think it's minus 115 for both. I think it's just off of legacy alone and status and regality of John Jones. I think minus 350 minimum.
Whoa.
Minus 350 minimum. But that's just me trying to think like an odd maker, trying to think like a guy in Vegas fucking working for the books and be like, listen, yeah, we're gonna make this a heavy favorite because if he wins, we minimize our losses, and it's a much higher chance that he wins than Ngannou. Like, because I feel like the only way Ngannou wins is by knockout, and I don't think he's knocking John Jones.
I think John Jones would probably try to tap him real quick anyway.
Yeah, I think that's how he goes. That's how that goes.
Well, Sniper, we talk about it. I don't think we're getting it. But hey, it's good to talk about it. Let's move on and what's trending. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. It was just announced that he's going to take on Chris Curtis in September. If you weren't familiar, Chris Curtis just fought last week, and it was stopped due to an accidental head clashing. And he wanted to fight, but it didn't. It just didn't go his way, and so it was a void. He didn't lose. So yeah, I mean, talk about it. How do you feel? It's a banger of a middleweight fight there.
Yeah, I think both of these fighters match up very well. Anthony Hernandez is on a tear right now, but so is Chris Curtis, right?
Right.
And I think Chris Curtis, he is a bit salty. I know for a fact Chris Curtis is a bit salty of how his last fight ended, and he's definitely going to come out wanting to take Anthony Hernandez's head off.
Right.
So, and obviously Fluffy's not going to let that happen. So I think definitely a good matchup. I can't wait to see it.
Definitely. All right, let's wrap it up in what's trending. This one is exciting. I love the bare knuckle fight championship. It's going to be fire to watch. This one, you might have heard of him, Junior Dos Santos, Fabricio Verdum. Whoa, why and whoa?
Where did it come from? Yeah,
It's happening in 2023. Yeah, it's wild.
yeah.
How do you
So
feel, dude? Do you think it's gonna be it's gonna be a awesome fight? Bless you.
thank you. Awesome fight. I think it's gonna be an interesting fight, right? Because
No
listen,
problem.
Fabricio was or is an OG in this UFC shit, right? Big OG. Um, and so is Junior Dos Santos, right? They're both long in the tooth, if you will, in this fighting shit.
Sure.
And to see them two match up against each other, it's gonna be funny. I haven't really known Fabricio to be too much of a striker. Um, However, Junior Dos Santos is definitely a striker, so it's gonna be an interesting fight to watch. It's gonna be interesting to see how Fabricio matches up against Junior, and I just hope Fabricio doesn't die in there because if I had to pick one fighter, I'm definitely picking Dos Santos.
For sure. And for those who haven't watched BKFC, you have to.
Please,
Shit is intense, bro.
please, man.
Luke Rockhold lost a tooth to Mike
Yeah.
Perry. He did, so that was crazy. I guess we can open it up for a little bit of free swim. Kind of what's on your mind? What's on your mind in the UFC? You have any problems? Do you have any fights you want to see? Like, what's on your mind as far as UFC?
So I've been reading up a lot, and um, I mean I can't really cite my sources here, and I can't really confirm my sources, but unfortunately, the things that I have been reading about the Ultimate Fighter coaches
Mm-hmm.
is that it might not happen. So I don't know how official this was, but I did see a post saying that Connor has passed the USADA deadline for him to be eligible to fight this year.
Fucking A, man.
I again, do not quote
Sure,
me.
sure, sure.
Um, we'll put out a little update once those sources have been confirmed, and once that news has been solidified. But I have seen it in multiple areas,
But
and
it's interesting to me. Like if you watch the Conor McGregor documentary, you would and you could tell that he just wanted to fight, and the
yeah,
angle was like we want to fight, but Dana won't give us a fight.
right.
USADA and this, so it's
Yeah. So
shocking. Do you
I
think
hope
do you
it's not
think the
true.
whole do you think the whole Miami Heat Game 4 situation has anything to do with it?
It might. It might. It might, but then again, it might not, right? Because
How do you miss the deadline, dude? I don't get it.
nothing has been set in stone. Nothing has been proven
Right, right.
in regards to those
Allegedly.
accusations. Yeah. So I don't want to say that it plays any factor, but it might,
Mhm.
right? And yeah, man, it's just an unfortunate circumstance. However, uh, Arman Sarukian, I believe, called that to happen right after his fight against oh fuck, he fought, fucking killed him. See you later. Yeah, so after his last win, he said that I don't think Connor wants to fight. I don't think the Connor Chandler fight is gonna happen. I would like to fight Chandler because he's a big name, and I think I've proven in my recent victories that I'm ready for that kind of fight.
Careful what you wish for, young man.
So here's the thing. I think he takes him a little bit, man. It might be a hot take, and I might be speaking off of emotion right now, or
No. Oh,
You know,
good.
it might be the red cup, but I really do think that he at least has a very very good fighting chance against Michael Chandler. So
Okay.
I'll
Interesting.
just leave it.
Interesting.
I'll just leave it at that.
Another interesting thing I wanted to mention too. Fuck. Hold on. Those. I'm gonna put my hand to pause it for a second.
Mhm.
Fuck. I just had it too. Um. Ah. Here we go. Another interesting thing that I had seen on Twitter. Henry Cejudo apparently going up against Cheeto Vera. So,
Yes.
but from I don't know if it's a confirmed source. They're saying that Henry has a shoulder injury though, so he doesn't know if
Mm,
he's going to take the fight.
mm.
So I don't know if does Marlon Vera even does he even deserve this fight after his last performance, dude?
Um,
I don't think so.
I think so because who else is there for him to fight?
I suppose. Yeah,
It's either
I mean, yeah, throw him in against Cejudo. See
it's
if
either
he's
it's
washed or
either
not.
Cejudo. I believe it's either Cejudo or Jan.
No,
And
I think Jan's done. Dude. I think Peter Yan is not fighting with the UFC.
really,
From what I heard, I'll listen again. It could be alleged, but I'm
uh-huh.
pretty sure I thought Peter Yan was pissed off on how he's been treated in the UFC,
And he
and that
just
he
said,
doesn't want to fight.
"Oh,
Yeah, I could be capping, but
oh shit."
yeah,
Yeah, well, all right. So let's assume that's true. Hopefully, it's not. But let's assume that's true. Yeah, I mean, who else is there in the bantamweight division for a top 5 fighter to fight? You know what I mean? So at
yeah,
that point, it's like might as well throw him against the draw in Cejudo.
yeah. I mean, shit, it's gonna definitely sell some pay per views. But pretty good on free throw. I think I pretty much got what I needed out. Anything else that you had on your mind?
So yeah, real quick. Believe we spoke with our people, and I believe they cleared this. I believe next episode we're going to have a special guest segment,
Yeah, man,
and
excited for it.
yeah, if you don't know him now, you will know him then.
Yeah,
Uh,
uh, loud
he
guy, the
Yeah,
loud guy.
that guy, very well versed in this UFC knowledge, just like
Yeah,
Mike, just
sure.
like myself, and it's gonna be good. He's good energy to have around,
For
and
sure. Always
yeah,
good to have knowledge on deck. However, I'm not saying his nickname. I won't do it. I won't. He
we'll
will
let
have.
him say it.
Yeah. We'll have to let him do that. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. He's not gonna be like a an every show guest, but he's gonna check in a lot. And I think it's good for just content, and I think it's good for the pod in general. So
100%.
Sniper and I definitely we're working for you. We're working for you.
And
Um,
listen, if you guys have any other ideas, any other segments, any other things you would like to see us discuss,
yeah,
please,
seriously.
please don't be afraid to DM us. Don't be afraid to comment on this video because that type of engagement are things that we need in order to make sure that this is the best show we can provide for you guys.
No,
So
absolutely.
please don't hesitate.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely drop a comment, DM us. This is how the show started, just two dudes talking about UFC. So yeah, we definitely appreciate that. Our final thoughts coming up next. Hold on, it's the Right Hook Pod. All right, we're wrapping it up. It's the Right Hook Pod. It's my favorite part of the show. Sniper gets his little thing where he gives a little lock of the night, and this is where I get to just tape off and say reckless shit. So and this has nothing to do with the UFC, but the biggest lie of all time in entertainment sports history was we believed that Kane and The Undertaker were
Oh.
brothers. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? I grew up my whole entire life thinking those two were brothers and Paul Bear was the dad. And just to find out that Kane was fucking mayor somewhere in Tennessee and The Undertaker is from Louisiana. What do I know, dude? I don't know anything.
Bro, not related in the slightest, and it's fucked up because they kind of look alike, bro. It's
And they're
fucked
both
up because
7
they
foot
kind of
tall.
look like both 7 foot tall, scary motherfuckers. They kind of have the same facial features a little bit.
Yeah, bro.
They
And
talk,
it's like the whole Undertaker, Hell, Kane.
right? Like they
Made
didn't
sense, dude.
talk. And it's funny that you say that because I remember for a long time, believing that Undertaker was a zombie, fucking dead guy coming in beating people up
Yeah.
until I believe I was like 12.
I want to know
So
something crazy too. Is Lita and Kane, bro?
yeah.
Do you? I don't know if you watch WWE, but it's just whatever, man. I could talk about it all day. But yeah, that's my bold take. Is I'm just pissed at the fucking story creators of Kane and Undertaker being brothers because they weren't brothers, bro.
Well, listen, that's how you know they did a good job, right?
Fact, I'm 28 years old talking about fucking fictional characters, bro. I gotta love it.
That's-
My name is Mike Ryan. That's my man Sniper. You're listening to the Right Hook Podcast. We're out every Friday. We moved it from Saturday to Friday, so you'll be able to catch the show on YouTube. We're working on getting it on Spotify, Apple Music, in case you don't want to see our pretty faces. It's all good. We get that. So you might want to just pop it in, go on the train, do your thing. But yeah, man, we appreciate the love and support as always. Sorry about last week. And yeah, man, I'm excited. UFC Fight Night. Emmett, try that one more time. UFC Fight Night, Jacksonville, Emmett versus Taporia. Yeah, that's it for me. You got anything?
Thank you guys for supporting. Keep supporting, and let's win some fucking money.
I need it, Sniper. I need it. That lock of the night. That
Yes,
lock of
sir.
the night. Brandon Allen, double chance.
I'm
Hey,
feeling
man.
good. I'm feeling
Tag
good.
us in
Man.
the
I think I'm
post,
back.
too. Let us know what you're betting. Tag us. And we're back at it next week. It's the Right Hook Pod. We'll see you then.